Greetings, this is Jim Lindsay. This is a very brief lesson. What I wanted to do is just introduce you to a couple of things in Chapter 10, and we're going to be talking about web-based multimedia or multimedia on the web in this chapter. Let me switch over to Blackboard and I'll show you why this is going to be so short. Okay, I'm over in Blackboard and you are watching that right there. This chapter covers how to use multimedia to basically enhance a business's web presence, and we've already covered a lot of this through other avenues, especially and I'm going to switch over to the class calendar here. You'll see we're right here with Chapter 10 multimedia and the web. This Wix website project, which we completed that was due back on the 20th. It concluded components, excuse me, I can't talk. The components in this project covered about half of this chapter, and so since we've already done that, it's already been turned in, I know you've already done it, then that whole half of the chapter is already covered. One of the things I wanted to mention and teach you about was basically images, how to work with computer generated pictures and how to edit those, how to do things to change contrast and crop things and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to teach you that through this lesson right here in Blackboard called Image Editing with Pixlr, and you'll see that there is a zip file right here that's part of that lesson. This is a zipped file. You see the file extension is .zip. You may not have worked with one of those before. Let me show you how to basically use this. I'm using Chrome as my browser here, and I'm going to just right-clicked it. I'm going to hit Save Link As, let it bring it down to my desktop. You see it's going to bring down my images from tutorial. I'll save that, and I'll meet you at the desktop in just a moment. Okay, I'm on my desktop, and this is that file that came down. This is a compressed file, and what that means is it's a bunch of other things that have been squished together to be treated as one. And so all these different parts have been fused together, so it's a single entity. And why that's great is because Blackboard allows me to put like this zipped file as a single blob, and then you can download it, and from it you can then take all the different parts and use them as needed. So with the zip file now on my computer, because I downloaded it, I just have to double click it, and it brings up the contents of what's in there. What's in there is a folder. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. That PowerPoint stuff in the back there was distracting. Okay, so this folder right here is what I want to be working with. If you open that up, you'll see there are a number of pictures in there. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this folder. I've selected it. I'm going to hold down my left mouse button and drag that and drop it onto the desktop. And then I'm just going to close this. Now, this folder, my images from tutorial, is the unzipped or the decompressed version of that thing right there. If you open that up, you'll see there's a bunch of different pictures in here, and as you complete that pixlr.com lesson for imaging, for image editing, you'll have all this stuff on your machine that you can use however you want to. So wanted to make sure I covered that with you. So download that zip file to your computer. Once it's downloaded to your computer on a Windows machine, you would double click it to basically see this folder, and then drag and drop this My Images from Tutorial folder to the desktop, and then you'll work out of it. So but by covering the image editing with this Pixlr lesson, by covering all that, what is web design, how do you do it, how do you create a website, all that sort of stuff with the Wix.com lesson, we've covered that other half of the chapter. We're basically just down to just a couple of ideas, and let me show you what those are, and we'll just be done in just a couple minutes here. Okay, first, what is multimedia? Well, multimedia is, and these definitions come directly from your textbook, it's just basically using more than one type of media. And what is media? Well, media is stuff like texts and images and video and animation and sound. When you take any combination of those, put them together, and then put that onto a website, it becomes web-based multimedia. And that's what we're talking about in this chapter. The different types of media. If you would like to learn more about text in particular, I teach a class. It's called CIS 320. It's called Personal Information Technology, and in that I cover this one part of the class is over desktop publishing. It's about 5 weeks worth of material that we cover, and we cover a whole bunch of design aspects. But we really cover typography and what are different font faces, and like how do you incorporate those effectively, how do you take contrasting different font faces and then use those to really get your image, get your message across. And so if you want to learn a lot about the text type of media, that's a really good class to learn that in. That's part of our CIS minor, and I teach that. It's a fun course. The images, I mean, you're going to learn about those here. If you want to take broadcasting classes or journalism classes, specifically the photojournalism classes, you can learn a whole lot about images. There's I think it's BCom 264. I may have my number wrong on that, but that's that's a class where basically you can learn about how to take really cool pictures, and it's 4 non-majors from the journalism department. Maybe I think I probably got my number wrong on that, but you can take classes at Western that completely specialize in that, and that can become your entire job. I don't have anything to teach you as far as animation goes. I'm sure in the art department up at FAC you could cover that in great detail. We're not going to get into animation in this class, but we will cover the audio and video portion, specifically with that YouTube lesson or project that you're going to complete. And I wanted to also introduce you to a resource that's on campus. It's called the Technology Resource Center, and if you've never used it before, I'm telling you, you should try it. Let me show you what where it is and some of the resources they have. All right, I'm in the Firefox browser. I've got the web page for the Technology Resource Center open. This place is located in mass media. Your student fees for IT stuff supports this center, and it's awesome. It's a great place. They have video cameras. They have workstations with all of the Adobe software you could possibly want. And basically each workstation that you're sitting at costs about $10,000 each. I mean, they're phenomenal computers, and the staff that works there, they're primarily broadcasting students that staff it. They're excellent, and they will help you. So if you've gone out and you've shot some footage with one of their cameras or your own, and you bring it in, they can help you take that and make that into a really good video, and then you can put that on a YouTube or burn it to DVD or whatever you want to do with it. But this Technology Resource Center, if you've never taken advantage of it, check it out. It's completely free. I mean, everything there. You can check out laptops, you can check out projectors, you can check out microphones, cameras. I mean, it's great. It's a really cool resource that we have at WKU that's not available at a lot of other campuses. So encourage you to check that out. And then lastly, as a closing point here, why should you care about all this? I meant to do this at the very beginning and forgot. Let me just jump over here. Let me just show you a couple of different websites. Why do we care about web-based multimedia? Well, here are a couple of sites you might frequent. How about YouTube? How about something like ESPN.com? How about you might watch the news, and you might watch it on the right end of the spectrum, you might watch it on the left end of the spectrum, but all of these sites so far, I hope you've noticed that basically there are, in addition to like the stories, the text kind of stories that you have, there's all these video stuff built into here. As we get into some of these other examples here, let's go over to one for adopting pets. In this one, as I built this particular page, let me reload it, you'll see some of the animation take place. I mentioned animation a moment ago, but they're incorporating text, they're incorporating pictures, they're incorporating video, they're incorporating animation, and through all of those different types of media, it's just loaded. Basically, when I put this page together about dogs in the 42101 area code, They had a really cute animation come up where basically a dog's tail was wagging. But these are all different sorts of industries. Here's one for cupcakes. Maybe like Gigi's Cupcakes, and as you scroll through this, great use of pictures. If that's not making you hungry, then I'm surprised. Last one, here's one for auto parts. You have an interactive map in here. Through my IP address, it basically sensed I was in this Bowling Green area, and from here it gives me stores. I can click on these and follow the links. And so, from several different industries, everybody uses multimedia to promote their business, to inform their customers of their products, and just to entertain. And so, as a current graduate, you really should have skills and be comfortable working with this and hopefully generating it as well. So that's the point of why we cover this stuff in this chapter. I hope you enjoy it. It's one of the most enjoyable things we do throughout the course. And thanks for your time and attention.